Well, hey everybody, Backyard Scrapping here, and welcome to part 5 of our refine. I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff filtered off and get these flasks cleaned out. We're probably going to have to do it in several different little, or several thousand milliliter beakers because we got a lot of fluid here. And then I'm going to get over here while that's filtering, and I'm going to finish grinding our chips, which I guess you can see that now. You see how nice and white that stuff is, and if there's any more black that doesn't go, I'll fire it up again. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work, get this camera set up on the tripod, and we'll check in periodically while we're filtering. So we'll be right back at you. Alrighty guys, there's nothing magical or mystical about this part. In fact, this is probably one of the most boring parts of the refining process, but we're going to go ahead and get started filtering. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this off, and we've got some sediment and crap in the bottom of this from some other metals, so I will probably be adding a little bit more hydrochloric acid to this, but for the time being, we're just going to pour this in and get her filtered. Probably going to take a couple of times of filtering this. I am using the vacuum filter because if we don't, we are going to be here for a very long time. So you can see what I'm doing. There's not much to it. I will get back at you guys when we've got a little bit more to show you. Okay guys, just popping back in for a second. I just wanted to show you that I changed over from the bigger flask, or not bigger flask, but the bigger funnel, but it's got a slow filter paper in it. Only thing I have is slow filter papers for that size, and it was barely drawing through. So evidently we've got a lot of crap in here. I switched over to the little one with a medium flow filter paper, so we're going to go with it that way. As you can see, we're at least getting a good drip, coming through on that. So I just changed that up. That's all I've done. We'll get this all filtered off once, and then I'm probably going to filter it 2 or 3 times, but I just wanted to show you that we have moved over to a little bit faster paper, because it was just taking forever with that one. And I mean, that's the object of having the vacuum, so it doesn't take so long. So anyway, I'll get back to you when we got something else to show you. Alrighty everybody, just stepping away from the filtering for a second to show you what's going on here. Here is our our finished ash. As you can see, our burn finished that stuff off. The only thing that's left really in there is just, crushed up silicon dyes. So we're good to go on that. So while this slow filter job is going on over here, I'm going to go ahead and start rinsing that stuff up, getting it cleaned up, and getting it ready for processing. So we are slowly but surely filtering over here, and I do mean slowly but surely. Is kind of one disadvantage to doing the aquaresia process on the whole thing, because you're getting all that other crap that's with them in there too. So we will get back at you guys in just a little bit. Okay guys, I'm gonna just bring you in on a little test here. There is some sediment in this solution. It's taken a long time to filter, but I do want to go ahead and do a Stannis test. And what this is I call it instant Stannis, and it's a powder. It's a Stannis chloride powder that's soluble in water, and what you do is you mix 1.5 grams of this with 1 milliliter of water, and you've got enough test solution, to last you a couple weeks which is, or a month. I mean, as long as it'll last you. But this way, you're not making a bunch of it and it going bad on you, or you know, because it will eventually not work properly. So if you just make a little bit at a time, which this is perfect, then you don't have to worry about it going bad. But anyway, I've got some distilled water, some hydrochloric acid. I've got our main solution, which is over here in this jar, or in this beaker, right here. I don't know if you can see it or not. And then I've got some, I rinsed the ceramics. I rinsed the ceramics with some hydrochloric acid and a little bit of distilled water, and that's what this is. So I want to see how much gold is left in that. I've actually got the ceramics heating up with some distilled water and hydrochloric acid right now, and I'm going to try and get every bit of the, you know, the color out of those. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this hydrochloric acid. We have no reaction. And I hit the distilled water. We have no reaction. Our main stuff, we have a good gold reaction. I don't know if you see that, but it just turned coal black. And then this one, which is our hydrochloric, and we are showing a pretty good gold reaction in our rinse too. So I figured I would show you that. So we had our two tests, our neutrals, and then we have our rinse water, and also our main solution. So we have a positive for gold in those. So I am going to just let this stuff heat up, get it rinsed out. I'm going to let this settle. Then I'm going to filter it again. Probably going to filter it a couple more times, and then we'll get back at you. But as it stands right now, we're at a really, even with the vacuum, I mean, it's just barely going through. So I wanted to bring you in on a test because I usually don't show that. Everybody knows that I do it, but I haven't been, you know, I just don't show it. So I wanted to show you that we did do a Stannis test. We have two positives, and both of our, what should have showed nothing, solutions to prove our Stannis was good, showed nothing. Alrighty guys, so we'll be back at you in a bit. Okay guys, let's do a rundown of where we are right now. I don't know for sure what this is, but there's some sediment in our fluid. It was in both beakers. That's some acid rinse, and that's our original, you know, our little back plates. We haven't messed with that yet. But there is some kind of a sediment in here. It is absolutely stopping up the filters. I mean, even under vacuum, I was getting virtually nothing. So I'm going to let these two filters just gravity drain. It'll probably take at least all night. Clean them out. We have already, you know, removed our fluid, or our aqua regia from the big flasks. We had to clean those up, which this old cardboard brush comes in handy for that. This is our acid wash from the CPUs, from the ceramics, which you can obviously tell there's some gold in there. This is our rinse waters, and this is our final rinse, and this is all distilled water. This is the final rinse of our ceramics in here, and I'm going to keep that too. I'm going to put that in this coffee pot with the other rinse water from the flasks, and we'll reduce all that down, and we will use it and keep it all together, because there is gold in all of this. Now, whether it's worth it to do that or not, I don't particularly, you know, care one way or another. This is how I do it. I'm going to, like I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to get it all. I'm going to get as much as I can possibly get. So this is a first light acid wash in here. It also has some sediment settling in it. That's our main solution, which has some sediment settling in it. And I'm seeing something that I haven't seen before. Again, I have not had, you know, I didn't have the aluminum wire. Like I said, I guess I've been very fortunate, but I never got processors that had aluminum wire. Now this is the back. I don't know if you can see this, but this is one of the silicon dies that naturally comes out. But you see this stuff? This is on the back of the silicon dies. This little I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's glue. I don't know if these are glued on. I haven't seen this before. Once again, I've been lucky. But you can see I can grab a silicone die, and if I take it and scrape it, that stuff comes off like a glue. So I'm wondering if this isn't what has junked up my solution, because a lot of these silicone dies are really clean. You know, there's nothing on the backs. So I'm thinking that whatever this crap is, again, like I said, you know, I run into new things all the time. It never ceases to amaze me. Just when you think you know exactly how something's going, it ain't gonna go. But here's another one I'll just pick up. And as you can see on the back of it, it has this, and a lot of it has been dissolved. And I'm thinking that this is what has caused our sediment problem. So anyhow, like I said, I'm going to let these sit at an angle like this, then I'll pour this water off, reduce it down. It's all distilled water, so we'll use all that in our doubling when we have to double our fluid to do our drop. But for now, I'm probably going to just let all of this stuff sit for about a day or two. And I want to let all of this stuff settle out as much as I can let it settle out, because obviously it is not going to go through the filters, and we don't have 17 years to filter this stuff off. So what I'll do is settle it, then I'll siphon the fluid off. We'll filter it probably a couple more times, and then I'm actually going to hit that sediment with a little bit of aqua regia again and see what it does. So again, to wrap up, this is our second rinses from our flask and our ceramics. That's our final rinse in here from our ceramics. I saw no gold anywhere left on them, or no pins or nothing like that. That's our two. I actually mowed. Oh, you see the deer out there? They're out there. They're out there eating because I mowed. But I mowed my entire yard, and neither one of these filters, neither one of those funnels cleared. And I mowed 2 3/4 acres. And that's a mama. I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's a mama and a yearling. They're out there eating that fresh cut grass. Yeah, I don't know if that's even a yearling. That might be this year's fawn. Here comes another one. And here comes another one. I looked to see that big old buck one day. He usually pushes these does out ahead of him, but he's kind of scarce to see. But boy, is he a beauty. Anyhow, they're gonna clean up the hay out there. I'm gonna finish cleaning up in here, and I'm gonna call it a night. So we will be back at you in a day or two. Like I said, I'm gonna actually let this just settle until I don't see anything in it. Alrighty guys, we'll see you when we excuse me, we'll see you when we get back out here again. Okay guys, so here's where we are right now. We've actually been stalled on this for a few days. I don't know what was in or on, or if it's that stuff that was behind the chips, the dies on those processors, but basically trying to filter that is like trying to filter syrup. So I mean, it's liquidy and watery and whatever like it should be, but it just will not pass through the filters. In fact, this is day 3. This is day 3, and there is still fluid in those two filter. You know, the two Buckner, however you say them, the Buckner funnels that we started with. That was 3 days ago. There is still fluid dripping out of those. They have not cleared once yet. I have had issues with filtering before that took hours, but I have never run into something that has taken days. So what I'm actually doing right now, like I said, every time you do this, it's something new or something different. You know, once in a while things go 1, 2, 3, but it just doesn't seem to work out that way, you know, all the time. So what I'm actually doing now is I'm actually going to filter everything, and I'm doing it right now. I'm in the process of it. I'm filtering everything through coffee filters first. We're going to clean those out, and believe it or not, it's just a drip, drip, drip coming through there. So whatever this gunk is that's in there, it's apparently going to take a while to get it filtered out. But so I'm going to work on that, let it go. I'm just doing gravity on that because the coffee filters I have found are really not strong enough to pull a good vacuum on without ripping them. So that's going on. Our other portion, our chips, are ready to rock and roll. All I have to do is do an acid wash on them, and we can put them to Aqua Regia, which, like I said, I wasn't going to go through the process of, showing the rinse. It's just redundant. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually inside at the bench, and I am going to take a close look at these little guys right here. They appear to have this little cap on them. I was going to, and I still might, break these legs off to a point, but there is a little bit of gold plating right at the top of each leg. So what I may do is just go ahead and break them off, at this level right here, and then leave this other metal on them. And then we're going to tap one of these around, see if we can't open it up and see exactly what's inside it. So I'm going to sit here and do this right quick, and then we're going to, like I said, we're going to try and tap one of these open and see if we can see what's inside and how we have to go about doing these. These are the ones that he wants a test run on to see what they're going to yield. So this is what we've got of them right here. So let me get them prepped. There's no point in you just sitting here with me while I go like this. So when I get that part done, we'll get back to you. So we'll be right back at you in a bit. Okay, guys, we have got these little boogers delegged. It's actually a little bit more of a pain in the butt than I thought. I found out right quick that this was not the way to go because they weren't breaking off that easy. So I just got my little nippers and we nipped them off. Now the only reason I'm doing that, or I did that, is because right on the top of these, and I don't know if it's a little bit of blowover brazing from this plate here, but on the top, and it's not on all of them, it's on several of them, but not all of them, there's a little tiny bit of gold right there. Normally with a chip like this, I haven't actually done them this size. I've done them a little bit bigger that are a similar chip to this. And I would, if not for that little bit of gold that blew over on top of these, what I'd do is I'd just take them, actually I saw E-Waste Ben do this with a lot of his E-Proms and stuff. He just takes them on a grinder and he just goes like that and he just grinds the legs right off. But there is a little bit of gold on these, so I didn't want to do that. But that's actually the way to do it because it's very fast. You just go zip, turn it over, zip, and your legs are gone, on a grinding wheel. That's actually a good tip that he provided for everybody. But what I do know, if nothing else, this metal right here won't be in our Aqua Regia. So if nothing else, that's a good thing. But this is the way to go. Don't try to break them off. They wouldn't come off. Alrighty, I'm going to go check our filters outside, and then we're going to tap one of these guys open and look at it under the scope. So we'll be back at you guys in a bit. Okay, guys, I am back in here. Our filtering is going extremely slow. I mean, even through the coffee filters. The sediment does not look like silver or silver chloride, and even when I've had silver chloride, in Aqua Regia before, it has never taken this long to filter. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try and tap one of these little boogers open, see if we can see what's inside it without breaking it up too badly. Put it under the scope and take a peek at it, and hopefully our filtering will filter out, but it's taking about to make one pass on a coffee filter probably maybe 100 milliliters in an hour. So it's just, I mean, utterly unbelievably slow. Alright, I got a little anvil here, a little piece of steel. I'm going to do this the same way that I've done larger chips. I don't know if it's going to work, but what we're going to do is we're basically just going to take this hammer. I might be off camera a little bit, but we're going to take this hammer and we're just going to tap it around the edges, see if we can just get it to open up without super damaging the chip. And like I said, with these little chips, I don't know if it's going to work or not. Right here, I can see a layer of brazing, so I'm presuming, I think he said he broke one open and there is definitely gold inside, but I don't think we're going to get them to, we're not going to get them to split like a larger chip. It's just breaking up. Tray, I don't want to lose any of this. Yeah, so far we're not getting anything to split. Okay, there is just that edge there. There is brazing inside. I can see it. Underneath this chip, I'm going to try and separate it. So we do have gold brazing inside, so the chip definitely has to be broken open. And we also have gold brazing under the cap. So inside here under or around the silicon die, there's actually some gold bond wires right here, and there is brazing inside, so we are going to have to tap these open like that. So that's going to be kind of a pain in the butt, because there's also brazing here that I can see is between the layers of silica, or not silica, but the ceramic. So that is going to have to be broken open pretty easily or pretty gently. We don't want to smash this, we just want to expose the gold. And I am afraid that that ain't going to come out that easy. See, right under here, I'll show you when I break out the scope, but under here there's some little like fingers going back to where this is on the outside of the chip, but there's definitely brazing under there. I'm going to just bust this one so we can see it. I hope I don't lose it. Now I got to find it. Well, anyhow, let me get the camera out, the scope, and we will take a look at this very close up. Okay guys, we got the camera set up, and I'm going to try and show you this as best I can. As you can see, we broke this, a while ago we broke this open, and you can see the back of this has also got plating on it, as does the front. I wanted to show you a few things inside. You can see, let me see if I can adjust this up to where we're going to be looking as I raise this stuff up. I still got to get used to this thing. Okay, So now our background's blurry, but that doesn't matter. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay, when you get up on this, you see this little bit of stuff right in here. Let me see if I can put a little light on it. Okay, let me see if I can get another pointer. When you get up here, these little tiny guys right here, right there, they actually go underneath the ceramic. So I'm presuming they're tying into this right here, which is exposed before you crack this open. So this is going to have to be pretty much crushed up. Okay, we saw the other inside. This is part of the where the legs connect and inside. Let me turn this light back off, it's too bright. So that's all well and good. We can get to that just fine. You know, this breaks out relatively easy, so we can get to that stuff fine. So our only problem is these little, on the very end of the chip where this little notch is, we're going to have to smash those up. Alright, inside the chip, I don't even know if you can see them on this scope, but there are right across this area right here. Let me see if I can get it up here where you can see it. I don't know if you can see those or not. You can see them reflect a little bit maybe. But right there, those are bond wires. So we know those are 24 karat gold bond wires. The diode, or the silicon die, is right here. I don't think there's plating under it. Doesn't appear to be. Also, on the top of these legs, it's not on these. I don't think you can see it. I don't see any on there. But on some of these, on the very top, right here on the very top of the legs, there was some gold plating, which is why I just cut the legs off. So let me see if I can tip that up a little bit and move it. But there is some super fine gold bond wires in there. So there's definitely, you know, it looks like a decent amount of gold inside of these, plus the brazing, you know, plus these caps, and the, you know, the underside of the, or the, you know, outside of the cap right there obviously has plating on it. This has a little bit of brazing on it. So I just wanted to show you what the inside of these boogers looks like. Again, that's where we broke out. So the legs evidently come in and tie into this brazing and into this chip through these bond wires right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly smack these up until I get to this parts of them, and this part I'm going to just completely crush, because that's going to be the only way to get to this stuff that's underneath this head of this chip, the very top of the chip. Alrighty, so I wanted to show you that. We've got them ready to go. I'm still out there filtering. I don't know what the deal is with that. Like I said, I've never had that happen before. So, as always, you know, what happens, happens. And that's just what you got to deal with when you're doing this stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to get to drop that gold sometime soon. I don't know. We got to be 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes into this video. So I think at this point I'm going to just go ahead and call this video. The next video we should hopefully have that stuff at least filtered off once, where we can run it through the vacuum through a fine filter. And we're also going to process our gold from our BGA chips. So guys, as always, have a good one, take care, and we'll see you all in the next video.